Welcome back to another episode of Temporally Scripted. We're here today for episode 41, and we've got some excellent news stories today. I might be a little bit all over the place because there has been a solar storm this week, and it does messes up my emotional state like beyond belief. But we're also going to dig into talcum powder. We've got some AI recalls going on, and there's a wild elephant on the loose in India. So, Adam, how's this solar flare been affecting you this week?
That hasn't. I don't know. I read some news about it, and I thought, oh, that doesn't look so great. But it didn't. I don't know. Why has it been making your crystals jingle, or what's been happening?
My crystals have been jingling like crazy this last week. It's almost been like a double full supermoon.
Oh, right. What happens on a double full supermoon?
I just throws everything out of kilter. Mood goes down. I have to drink Guinnesses in the evening. It's just crazy.
But right. Has there been a lot of those kind of moons over the last 20 years?
Almost daily.
Yeah. Don't know what it is. I have to go to the fridge every 10 minutes.
Well, the thing is, because it's a multiverse, it's not just the full moon in this one. It's like it's full moon in one of the universes on one of the planets every day. So
right, strange that it could affect you from all the way from another dimension or another universe and affect you in this one and make you have to go to the fridge and get another Guinness. It's terrible.
It's wild. It's the only thing I've found that really helps. Yeah. But this is a pretty big deal, this solar storm. I mean, outside of my jingling crystals and whatnot, like this is a fairly major event. It's not something that happens every day. It's not like a full moon that we get once a month,
Yeah, it kind of is, because they had northern lights in a lot of places where they don't usually get the northern lights, and that's where I saw this story, because it was talking about the UK and various places in the UK where we could actually see the aurora, which is kind of cool in a way, and people look up and go, oh wow, that's pretty. But yeah, I think I mentioned on a previous episode, I've been watching quite a lot of space weather news for a little while, and it's basically that's it. As you do, or you don't for most people. But it's this guy, and he kind of monitors the sun and sunspots and solar activity and all the different things that the sun's kicking out. And yeah, it seems like we've had a few near misses, but also he kind of goes into like the dangers of this, and the dangers are quite high if it's severe. And it's like, yeah, if it's low, it's like, oh, I get some pretty lights in the sky, that's nice. If it's bad, we go back to the Stone Age almost.
Yeah. So I've got a couple of questions that come to mind. The Stone Age bit we'll go back to in a second, but when you watch the space weather news, is it like a girl in a cocktail dress that comes out and tells you what's going on, or is that just the normal weather?
That's just the normal weather, I think. And it's a bit more like that if you look at, like, I think, is it Argentina for weather there? It's always, that's the kind of show. Yeah. And some of the ones in South America where it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're like, there's a westerly wind going on today. But back to the Stone Age, like that's not as cool as it sounds. It's not like we're going to go to some sort of Flintstones-esque people running around, like pushing their cars around and that kind of stuff.
With like the massive T-bone steaks and things like that they used to eat.
Yeah, it's not going to be like that, is it?
Yeah, but it's probably more like that than it is the Jetsons or something like that. I don't know. So in I think I've got it here somewhere, I think. But yeah, in 1859, we had something called the Carrington Event, which was the last time that the Earth got hit by a big geomagnetic storm like this. And at the time, well, you could say that it wiped out the sort of Victorian internet. So the telegraph system went down. a lot of wires were sparking. Some places, some stations caught fire. Operators received electrical shocks, and it basically wiped out the whole of this system. And also, it was so strong that night actually became day. So there's stories of people in the Rocky Mountains that were working there, waking up at like 1 a.m. to cook breakfast because it was so bright outside.
Wow.
Going back then, it's kind of it wasn't great, but it's not too bad. You know, you had like telegraph communication. The danger is now, if it happened, like the same level as a Carrington event, it would wipe out a lot of the satellites, like thousands of satellites that are up there. Because imagine it's just like kind of like an EMP sort of pulse that you see in films and things. It's kind of like that in many respects. So it would do that. It would collapse the grid, like the electricity grid. So it would just melt transformers. And so you just have blackouts. Some estimates say, from experts say that 20 to 40 million people in the US could be without power for months or even years. And obviously on top of that, it would wipe out GPS, the internet, mobile networks, undersea cables, and overland cables. And it would just basically fry everything. Unless it's in a Faraday cage or wrapped in a load of tinfoil or something, which my head always is anyway. So
yeah, I was going to say I've got a Faraday cage over my house, so we'll be all good. Yeah. I did wonder why the solar it impacts me more when I leave the house. You know, when I'm at home, it's fine. It's
it could be.
Although a car is a Faraday cage, as I understand it, though, isn't it? So you're probably safe driving around in your car as well.
Kind of, in some respects. It's like your car can get struck by lightning and it's okay, but I don't think it quite acts as like a Faraday cage. And in the event of like a geomagnetic storm, it would just wipe out all the electrics in your car anyway. So yeah, you couldn't listen to your favorite podcast, such as Temporally Scripted, which should be liking, sharing, subscribing to, folks.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, so the only transportation left would be like Honda Waves.
Apart from the electric starter.
But Honda Waves don't care about that. They run without.
Right.
They're like...
especially for ones that have got two back wheels and one front wheel, that someone's bodged the extra wheels on the back.
Yeah, they're like the SES of motorbike. They just keep going forever and ever and ever. You could ride one into battle, like no problem, on 0.02 liters of fuel. They're just unbelievable. Yeah, I'll never forget the day that my wife swapped my Honda Wave for an Italian motorbike, which, you know, has since passed away. It was just like, it's too hot.
Just couldn't take it anymore.
Straight away. That wasn't... Ooh. See, that was solar flares. My AirPod just popped out my ear.
I think that's the beginning.
Either that or I'm losing weight in my ears.
What, from your ears?
Yeah, as you do. Or maybe it's too dry in there because of me using excess Johnson & Johnson talc products.
Right, okay, which, I mean, I hope you're not using too much of them. I mean, but I think there's still a court case going on at the moment, but it doesn't sound so great.
Yeah, but the court case is going to get thrown out because when they unpacked the kilos and kilos of talcum powder from my car, they tested it and they found out that it was, in fact, Johnson & Johnson's talc. But you've got to be careful with it these days.
Well, yeah. Be careful what you carry around with you. It could look suspicious.
I just can't handle the chap or the chafe without talcum powder, and now it's so unpopular, giving people cancer and stuff. I mean, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I guess that is our next story of what seems to be a court case at the moment about Johnson & Johnson.
Well, this, I mean, looking at this, so the US judge allowed the experts to testify that they cause ovarian cancer, which means I can use talc because I don't have any ovaries.
I'm not sure if it's just that one kind of cancer that it would cause. I think that there may be, I think that's like an example
of it being
carcinogenic. I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to get covered in that stuff. So when I get old, I could say, it was never the cigarettes, the alcohol, the late nights,
Yeah.
the McDonald's. It was that talcum powder my mum used to use when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm going to take him to court. Johnson and Johnson and my mum.
Cause of death, talcum powder.
But I mean, it's quite a serious thing in many respects. So, because apparently the decision concerns federal litigation consolidated in New Jersey involving tens of thousands of lawsuits. Reuters cites around 67,500 cases.
Wow.
I don't know if cases of just cancer in itself or deaths. I'm assuming just cases of cancer, but either way, it's pretty shocking. And they don't use talc in talcum powder anymore. They've switched to some kind of cornstarch kind of thing instead, I believe.
Wait, is talc like some sort of element? Is it on the periodic table?
I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest, but I know that they kind of mine it. But sometimes
Oh,
when they mine it, it can be mixed up with other elements, and some of those I think can either be in some way poisonous or have some radioactivity. I'm not sure.
oh, wow. So it's a naturally occurring soft mineral, hydrated magnesium silicate. Yeah, that's not good. If they put on the side of the bottle Johnson and Johnson's hydrated magnesium silicate, I probably wouldn't powder my face with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you wouldn't add sodium chloride to your food, which is
True.
just salt. But
That's very true. But yeah, I mean, was your mother a big talc user in the 80s when you were a kid?
I think so, yeah. And there was always like a pot with talc in the bedroom somewhere or in the bathroom, because it used to be a lot more popular, I think.
Yeah, I seem
Like,
to remember talc being like a fairly, steadfast part of my childhood in the 90s. It was always, every event, whether it be a birthday or a Christmas, there's always
get
some
the
talc
talc
there.
out.
Yeah, get the talc out. Is this a
Or
talking occasion?
or it's a kind of weird gift that you'd get in. It'd be like Christmas time, and maybe in the stocking, or as like a little present, there'd be like some sort of not cosmetics, but kind of toiletries, and then it's like, oh right, and a little bottle of talc. And it's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It's not exactly a new Game Boy game, is it? I mean,
I'm not exactly chafing yet. I've not been drinking all Christmas.
and I'm only 9. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be at least 2 more years before we drink at Christmas. I'm Scottish. But yeah, and I do remember there being times where I put down like a bottle of talcum powder, because I think Imperial Leather used to have a version of it as well, which I think is like Cousins. And you put it down and it makes like a little dust cloud, and then you like. So I kind of remember that as a kid, but yeah, I never knew it was an element. So that is every day's a school day. I'll be able to sleep better tonight knowing that. And at
Yeah,
least
or
I
not
never
an
got into
element,
the
but
talc business.
you, well, I guess it's a relief. You could be up in court now for your talc dealings.
For 67,500. So they're taking it out of everything now.
Yeah, so I'm guessing with this, they stopped. I mean, it's kind of bad, isn't it, as well, when it's. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming people are able to sue the company because the company had knowledge of something, some really ill effects from the talc. And so
Yeah.
they knew this in advance. But when you think usually talcum powder is used as like baby powder. And so, I mean, obviously we don't know. This is not a settled case and there's allegations, whatever. But if they knew in advance and they're still giving something carcinogenic, selling it to parents to literally put on their kids, That's like that's terrible. It's like, what the hell?
It's pretty dark. Yeah, I have to say it is pretty dark. I mean,
And can you imagine being that guy or being on that committee or whatever at the company? But it's just like, okay, well, this has happened. What should we do? Let's keep selling it. And it's
yeah.
like, but that could like kill kids and give people. Let's just keep selling it. It's like, wow.
Do you think there's like a talc lobbyist in the US?
But that could be.
They're all sat around. It's like, oh, what are you the lobbyist for? Oh, guns. Oh, that's cool. What about you? Yeah, alcohol. Wow, that's awesome. How about you? Oh, yeah, for me, it's cigarettes. Wow, they're all really cool. What about you? Oh, cannabis. Excellent. That dude over there, he looks really smooth. Why is his skin? What's he the lobbyist for? Talcum powder. Oh, right. Yeah. What a bastard.
Exactly. It's worse
there's
than the
probably-
weapons dealers. And
Yeah, and everyone else. Oh, mate, he's a proper hardcore. That talc guy. He's 2 grams of talc a day. He is madness. I tell you what,
yeah, forces it on
someone
babies.
someone who might have an opinion on this is the newly elected Welsh health ambassador. I mean, I wonder what she
Oh,
thinks
right. Yeah.
about talcum powder, and if that's something that's in her, in her area of expertise.
I know that in Wales, people can aspire to be as healthy as her, or maybe she looks really healthy compared to the rest of people in Wales, and so that's like a shining example. I don't know. I haven't been to Wales for a long time.
Yeah, or it might be glandular.
It could be back to the cake land again.
I mean, what's it about? It's almost like employing a homeless man to be like the finance minister or the housing minister.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you live? Oh, in a tent on the Strand.
It is just like that, but it happens all the time.
Yeah. So, health ambassador, where are we having this quarterly review meeting for health in Wales? McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's is booked. We'll have to go to Pizza Hut instead. It's like, wow.
It's crazy, and it's not the first example of this either, is it? Because I think just to share another.
Oh, for the Belgian health minister.
The Belgian health minister, yeah. So let's have a look at this creature. This is the Belgian health minister. I mean,
when I see a picture of that woman, the first thing I think of is health.
it makes me think whether or not Augustus Gloop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had a twin sister.
So there's definitely something genetic. It must be. It can't just be anything else.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Indulgence or laziness or addiction to food or anything like that.
Too many calories. I mean, we're definitely going to get cancelled now because you're not allowed to fat shame. It is interesting because it goes back to what you said the other week about Ozempic, and it was always a good thing to be body beautiful and chubby until Ozempic came out and everyone started taking it to not be.
And all of a sudden, it was dead easy to lose weight and be slim.
So
yeah, just
on.
barely any effort, and all of a sudden, oh right, well I'm not so body positive anymore.
Fun times, hey? Fun times.
Fun times indeed.
So moving on. Speaking of taking the bad bits out of stuff, they're going to take the bad bits out of social media, or are they going to ban everybody from under 16? Because the UK seems to be about to jump on the bandwagon of banning social media for teens.
Yeah, which is quite a big step, really. And I guess this is following on from what Australia has been trying to do as well. And I mean, I don't know exactly how they would ban it, because I think any 14-year-old with a smartphone can pretty much access anything on the internet that they want to. Because they're definitely more tech savvy than the parents.
Yeah, and I mean, there's obviously things like VPNs and stuff, because I know they banned in the UK like adult stuff for under 18s, didn't they? So like all of the adult websites got banned. But I mean, someone told me that you can skirt around those bans by using a VPN.
Right. Okay.
It was
And
actually when I was
with a lot of
market
Mhm.
researching clickable titles.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, but I noticed I accidentally had my VPN set to the UK, so I just changed it.
And then it was okay, just like that. And then with like a lot of sites as well. I mean, obviously, hopefully with the social media thing, they'd make it a bit stricter. But with a lot of sites, it just kind of goes, "Are you over 18? Click here for yes, or click no to leave the site," and that's it. So hopefully, it's a bit stricter than that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I do know, so not to jump away from this story, but ChatGPT have just announced that they are trying to decide what age their users are based on what they search for.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to start using a similar technology to police the social media. I was started fucking with mine the other day by just typing 6767676767 into it.
Right. You're clearly an 11-year-old boy.
I think it might already think that by my level of humor.
Yeah, it probably does, to be honest. But yeah, it's kind of a funny one. I don't know. A part of this ban as well, are they going to be okay? Well, what we'll do, we'll bring out digital IDs for everybody, and if you've got your digital ID, then you can log into your Facebook account and you can use it as because you're an adult, and we can prove your age. And is it like another thing, another means to get this like digital ID thing, or another means of kind of censorship? And because it's always that thing, it's always safety with any of these things. Oh, well, we're just doing this for everybody's safety. And it's like, well, it seems like I've lost quite a lot of rights at the same time. Yeah, but this other group of people are safe. Just and it's this horrible kind of thing that they always do.
Yeah. If they do ban people like that, you're going to end up in this situation where you've got like one 50-year-old dude from Bolton pretending to be like a 13-year-old talking to like some 70-year-old dude from Clapham pretending to be a 15-year-old, and they're just going to be throwing 6-7s back at each other.
And then eventually they meet in a park in real life, and it's not quite the date we're looking for.
Oh dear. But I mean, joking aside, joking aside, I feel like banning under 16s from social media is a good idea. I feel like it's a good idea. But then part of me thinks of the amount of things that I wasn't supposed to do when I was 15.
Yeah. And also the thing that once you make something illegal or banned and so, well, you can't do this until you're 16 or 18, for more kids want to do it, like smoking or drinking or anything else. It's like, oh, I'm not allowed to do that. I really want to. But it brings in that element as well.
Yeah. Because I think already they banned like smoking for people under a certain age, right? It's like, well, sorry, they'd always done that. It wasn't that babies were ever allowed to smoke cigarettes. Maybe in the 50s, but it's already like there's a certain year. If you're born after that year, you're never going to be allowed to buy cigarettes, right? In the UK.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's healthy in many ways, but at some point you have to have a thing of people just going, look, we have this one life, we're here for a little bit, it's my body, it's I can do what I want to it, just let me buy some cigarettes. It's like, especially because of this, at some stage it'll be like a sort of 37-year-old man going, can I just buy some cigarettes? Jesus Christ, give me some kind of freedom. It's like, oh, no, you can't. You were born at the wrong time. But my mate does, and he's only 38.
Yeah. And it's like, but at least now you can surf social media, go and do some of that instead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so what I was thinking with this is, like we covered, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked about Project Mercury, where at Facebook they did some studies and they found that basically Facebook has negative effects on people's mental health, and it is damaging to people. And so, I mean, when we're saying, all right, we'll ban kids or under 16s from using social media, if it's harmful for them, it's also harmful for adults, just in a slightly different way. And really, should it be a case of like not allowing certain people to use it, or should the companies just be forced to change the way they do things? Like Johnson and Johnson no longer have talc in the talcum powder. How about in social media, we alter the algorithms so it's not doing what it currently does, which makes people addicted and depressed? And it's that like intermittent variable rewards. We can change that. All these companies have worked with like the best psychologists around to hook people in exactly the same ways that casinos have evolved over the years to hook people in a similar way, where they'll just sit there on the slots until all of their money goes. They're using the same tactics with this. And instead of just banning it for under 16s, why not just say to these companies, look, okay, either change the algorithm, change the way you work, or we just ban you outright from doing business in our country.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
yeah, but then the problem is that certain politicians' retirement funds are going to get much smaller than they are. So
So it's morally, whether it's morally the right thing to do or not, it doesn't necessarily get there.
yeah. Plus, if you're under 16 and you want to watch cat videos, like you should be allowed to watch cat videos. Like, what's the problem? I don't really get it.
Yeah, but this is true. I mean, that's one thing in China, though, from what I've heard, their version of TikTok, which is called something different, but like kids can watch it, but it's all kind of like science experiments and athletic endeavors and
yeah, it's called TikTok.
ah.
Wait, that was more Japanese, wasn't it? Yeah, I need to work on that for the Chinese audience.
Which I'm sure is probably our biggest audience.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, it's called something else. But yeah, you're right. And for them, I think it's almost like it's an operation to deliberately make the rest of the world look at people dancing and cat memes and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would. It's like if I was running some things in China, I'd be inventing things like TikTok and just going, yeah, brilliant, send it out there. Just like make as many of these people into idiots and affect their mental health and make them depressed and whatever else. Do that as much as possible. It's like that Yuri Bezmenov. He's like the KGB defector in, I think, the 80s. And he gave all these talks about how Russia would kind of like influence and infect different things in the United States to bring things down. And it was through like the education system and media and all these different things. And it was like demoralization, and it's really smart. But countries are doing that all the time. And I think something like TikTok is a prime example of that.
Yeah, and what the US are doing instead is just having Donald Trump go places and say stuff.
It's really mental stuff until he gets his way. It's like today the Greenland thing came through. Oh, that seems like a done deal now, and he's going to be he's not going to be taking it over, but he's going to be allowed more military bases and things like that there. And this huge thing, this storm that was in the news about, oh, is there going to be a war with like the US and Greenland and Denmark? And it's like he just wanted to get his own way and have more use of that land.
Is there any actual land in Greenland?
I think most of it's covered in snow and ice.
Well, I think there's not much land either. It's like there's a lot of it is actually ice, I think.
It was originally called Greenland because it was green when the Vikings went there, I believe.
Right.
When they first sailed across. Yeah, and they say it's got like a lot of like minerals and natural resources and things. And it's like, it does, but everywhere on Earth does. It just depends whether you can like harvest it and collect it or not. And Greenland, there doesn't seem to be any way to do it right now because it's covered in snow. And I mean, if it was that rich in mineral wealth, you'd think it'd have cities like Dubai and Riyadh or something, and it doesn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I think the thing that Trump has done very, very well, if you read a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini, there's a section in it which is about making like an extreme ask that you know is going to get rejected or rebuffed. And then once they rebuff that one, then you ask like a somewhere in the middle ask. So I think that's basically what Trump's done, is like he had no intention of ever going in there militarily, but he did want to make it clear that like don't start letting Russia and China get involved around that area. So now there's loads more NATO and European troops there, and he's got a deal to put more American troops there. So he's kind of got what he really wanted in the first place anyway.
Yeah, I heard someone else make a similar assessment of Trump, but just in a slightly different way. So not so much on the deal side of things, which I would agree. I think that's exactly what he's done. But he uses the same mechanism, but in other areas. So he'll say something completely over the top, ridiculous, so far past the line that he can't even see the line anymore. And people are like, what the? This is insane. And people get really riled up about that. So then the next time he does something that's bad, it's still bad, but it's not as bad as this thing that's way over here. And so people go, oh, well, it's compared to normal, it's kind of all right, even though it can be something absolutely shocking.
Yeah. It's like, look into the eyes, don't look around the eyes, look into the eyes. Okay. It's like that kind of vibe. Yeah. I mean, impressive. I did find it funny yesterday where I heard him say, he did like a monologue about World War II, and it's like, well, you guys would probably be speaking German and perhaps a little bit of Japanese. It's like, right. But yeah, I think he might be losing it a little bit as well. Like, I think some of the rants and stuff. Apparently, he started falling asleep in meetings quite a bit, and which I guess is what happens when you almost become an octogenarian or whatever it's called, an octonarian, not an octopus. Yeah. I hope Mr. Trump does not see this and call us out on Truth Social, because that would be terrible.
Can you imagine how great that would be?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of your work, Donald. Big fan of your work. Okay, cool. Anything else on social media before we move on to the next big story?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
What is the next big story this week? I believe it's something related to shock horror, AI stealing copyrighted books to train their models, and then the traces being seen in the outputs.
Yeah, so I guess essentially, I mean, we've heard bits and pieces about this all the way along, where people have been saying, but surely the AI is just taking like everything and then remembering quite a lot of it, and that's all like copyrighted material. How is that allowed? I'm like, oh no, well, it doesn't actually remember it. It just gets trained on it. But from what this study showed, it seems like it does remember it, and it's kind of taken just loads and loads of copyrighted material for itself.
Yeah, and that's basically how plagiarism works. It can still be totally in your own words, but be plagiarism.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, the thought and the idea, and you've basically just taken it and reworded it. You can see it, right? So when it first came out, AI, it always uses words, like elevate this and all of these kind of phrases, like, uncover the secret behind, do a deep dive. And that's basically like the title of every self-help book that was ever written. And you can understand why you would train it on self-help and personal development books, because it gives it a great understanding of humanity and how we operate, right? You don't want to, there's only a certain amount of fiction you want to give it. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to start going on about, oh, Voldemort was one of the people that came out as just as bad as Adolf Hitler in Hogwarts.
Yeah. And that Hannibal Lecter guy, he was a bit of a nightmare. I can't believe he got away with it for so long.
Yeah, starts dragging in references from things that didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, what can be done about it? I don't even see where.
I mean, what do you do at this stage? But So they used some, and this was tested a while ago as well. So it's on like GPT 4.1, Gemini 2.5, Grok 3, Claude 3.7, which seems like ages ago. But they had this method which they called the best of N style sampling. And so, yeah, they were able to basically get it to sort of start, I guess in Claude or something, just start making like segments from different books and things like that. So you go, okay, well, let's do pages, or let's do the first chapter of, I don't know, 1984 or something like that. And it just kind of, they found a way for it to do it. But it was like sort of 70 something percent accurate
Right.
as to the original.
Right.
And
That's
so
crazy.
was it, unless it, and this wasn't apparently from it like going and finding different things on the internet and piecing it all together. It was just somehow basically doing it.
Interesting. And I just tried to test it, like, and it now does say I can't write it because it's a copyrighted book. So I did say write chapter 1 of 1984, but it says it can't because it's copyrighted. If you want, I can summarize chapter 1, analyze its themes, break down key quotes, or rewrite it in your own original style inspired by its ideas without copying the text.
Can you write it in the style of George Orwell in great detail? Just getting that for you.
Yeah, and I think where it says that, it's like in your own style inspired by its ideas, like that's plagiarism, surely. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter so much in that.
Because if it just sort of, if you say do it in my style and it just sounds like a successful podcaster, but it's basically telling exactly the same as George Orwell's story, then that is kind of plagiarism.
Yeah, that's what it says.
You would
Retelling the
think.
same plot beats in the same order, recreating the same setting, power structure, or symbols, and mimicking his Orwell's sentence rhythm and whatnot. So,
Jeez. So does that mean we can take a load of classic novels and do a temporally scripted version where it sounds just like us two and for every character, and then just start selling it?
links in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Link is in the comments.
This is as good as brain powder.
That is our $1 million idea. Yeah, brain powder, yogurt enemas, and rewritten classics in the style of Adam and Jack.
Terrible use of the English language. But yeah, it's just mad. And there's so much of the copyrighted stuff. It's just insane. And it's like with things like Suno and Udio and things like that, they just scraped everything off like YouTube and everywhere else just to take loads of music and train their models. And they got it for free without paying anybody. And now if you create something on Suno and you want to use it commercially, you have to give them money because you have to pay for the copyright. Even though they took copyrighted and just blatantly just ignored any kind of copyright law.
It's going to be one of those things where they look back in history and see this as a time where like these people it's like the gold rush, but like the digital gold rush, where these big companies that have got on it first. And I mean, some of them aren't even that big. Like some of these guys that they're not massive startups, that they've just become super successful very, very fast.
Yeah, insanely fast.
It's crazy, but it reminds me of go on.
I was just going to say, but a lot of that growth has just come off the back of other people, and only like little bits at a time. But some of those big like music generation apps, it's like that's come from the hard work of all the musicians that came before making music, putting it out there, and then them just kind of taking it and reusing it without their permission. And you know for sure there'll be loads of songs that you could make on there and they'll sound really similar to other bands or artists. Or you could even say, oh, make this kind of track in the style of blah blah blah, and it will.
Yeah, well, it does that. So I remember when I was playing around with Udio when it first came out, and you're like, I'll make this sound like the Beatles. It's like, I can't make it sound like the Beatles, but I can use this 4-piece style with this band from a 60s vibe.
Yeah,
with this,
yeah.
and this. It's like, okay, well, that kind of sounds like the same thing, but fuck it, why not?
Yeah. How would you describe the Beatles? Oh, they're blah, blah, blah. Okay, that sounds great. Make that.
Yeah. And I guess a similar thing would have been going on when the internet started and people started writing content as well, you know?
Yeah. And I think, of course, it would have been, but I think it's just the scale that's so much different now. Because it's not just like someone copying like a couple of things or some bits from an article, literally rewording it themselves by hand on a computer or whatever. It's like someone just coming along and taking everything, and it's insane, and it makes it so difficult for anyone to have legal action as well. Because what could you say as a band? Oh, we believe you might have taken our songs and like listen to them to train your. And it's like, well, what recompense would you get from that? What sort of? I don't know.
Where's the money in the lawsuit? Yeah, there's not enough money for anyone to want to care to do anything about it, because you wouldn't even know how to distribute it if you did. Oh, well, that song sounds like 5% like the Police and 4% like, you know, whatever, this band, and
Yeah.
It's like based on every piece of music that's ever been made. They're going to start coming after me for making my songs about getting my kid to go to the dentist and stuff. Which, by the way, is a banger. Absolutely.
Is that the reggae one?
yeah. Get to the dentist or your teeth gonna rot out your face, like that. You know what I mean? This kind of vibe. Yeah. Or the "What do you want for dinner" song. You know, disco style. Amazing. I might lose a day or two in there actually. So
Yeah, why
speaking
not?
of AI tools and tools in general, this is going to blow your mind.
Are we talking about Boris Johnson again?
His mind's already been blown for sure. Cal is using a tool. Cal knows how to use a tool, and now so we need to rethink everything about what the order of, you know, the food chain is. Like we're at the top. I think cows have just stepped up a few levels, maybe now past the pig. Yeah, big news.
Right.
So,
well, I guess it is.
It is big news, and this cow isn't old enough to use social media in Australia, and soon not old enough to use social media in the UK.
Maybe that's why it's so smart.
She has figured out how to scratch herself, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a really amazing story, but yes. So we've observed this cow named Veronica, which is a pet cow. It's better than like Daisy or something like that. And a pet cow, apparently. I don't know who has a cow as a pet. But, oh no, so yeah, in Austria, sorry. But yeah, okay. And she started using like brooms to scratch her back, which is really cool. And she'd use like the broom for like the brush part for one part, and then the round part for like other parts. Quite an intelligent animal.
That is clever. Did it ever sweep the yard?
Yeah, it didn't do anything that useful, apparently.
The farm labourers going on strike because Veronica the cow's teaching all the other cows how to sweep the yard.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in the article, it says that the environment might have mattered and other factors as well. So for one, the cow was 13, which is kind of old for a cow. And it was in like very complex surroundings and it had a lot of contact with humans, and it had a lot of objects that were around that it could manipulate. So probably it's like seeing humans like brushing the yard and things like that and going, oh, right, I could use that. But it's just pretty smart. And it's always good in nature when you see some animal that somehow had like a little spark of intelligence.
Yeah. And we know some animals are smart, like monkeys who can throw shit at each other and stuff, which is a really useful thing. I hate monkeys. There's like a type of bird that can use a stick as well, isn't it? Is it a crow that can use a stick to like
crows? Yeah,
get ants out of a tree or whatever.
the whole like corvid family, which is like crows, magpies, a couple of others, are all like really smart. Oh, there's that thing where there's a video where it's like a crow, and there's a bottle of water, but it's only like so far up, and the crow wants a drink, or it might be a magpie, I'm not sure. But either way, it flies off, gets a rock, puts it in the bottle, lifts the level a bit, goes back, gets another until it's like full to the top, and then it's just like just starts drinking. It's really cool.
Nice.
There's another cool video as well. And it actually isn't AI, it's actually real, but it's like a crow on like a snowy day. And it's taken like a bottle cap and it's using the bottle cap as like a snowboard to sort of go down this route.
See, that snowboarding crow, that pisses all over this cow, doesn't it, to be fair?
It basically does, yeah.
You know, using the brush is one thing, but it's only because most cows by that age would be beef burgers, wouldn't they?
Unfortunately, yeah. Oh,
matured.
Not unfortunate.
Matured. I mean, they shouldn't be so tasty, should they? That's the problem.
This is a problem with a lot of these animals, really.
You know, pigs are super smart, but they taste fucking amazing. So what? Unlucky, you're going to get eaten. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially, yeah, and certain bits. So when it's like really like crispy bacon or something like that, and you get that smell and texture, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, but apparently they call human long pig, don't they? Cannibals and stuff. It's like one of the things.
Does that come from like Haiti? I'm not sure.
It's something
with long
like that.
pigs, yeah, because it tastes so much like
pig.
Pig.
Yeah, the Cannibal Cookbook, Your Guide to Preparing and Cooking Long Pig, a book by Eric Myford. I hope ChatGPT's not been trained on this book. 40 delicious recipes to get the most out of your fresh carcass. International recipes with enough variety to please even the most refined and picky palates. Tried, true, and tested methods of capture, preparation, butchering, and cooking. The ultimate all-in-one guide for your long pig needs. It's got a 3.4 out of 5 on Amazon.com and a 1 out of 5 on Goodreads.
When is this book from?
Apparently, it was originally published on December the 20th, 2020.
Right, interesting.
I'm mind blown. I don't really know where to go from there. From here.
Yes, same. Right, anyway.
Moving on, I was going to go and have a read through the 1-star reviews, but I don't know if I can cope with it.
Maybe that's some quality content for another time.
Yeah, but we can bring this up another time. I think it might be like satire, and written like a book, like a horror book. Anyway, moving on. We've got one more big story, I believe, today.
Interesting.
Or two. What? One or two.
What should we go for? Is it the attacks in India?
Yeah, harrowing news going on in India right now.
It's just kind of crazy, isn't it? So, according to reports, an elephant in India has killed 22 people since early January, prompting a major search and warnings to residents.
And it's a serial killing elephant then. It's not just doing it. It's not like one stampede where it killed 22 people. It's like coming out, killing one, and then going back
like
into...
Jack the Ripper or something. Apparently, it's only got one tusk as well.
So it stands out. Does it maybe as a disguise and it puts on a second
like a mustache?
So as soon as it's gone and like gored someone, it runs in, puts another tusk on. It's like people see it. It's like, can't be that one. It's got two tusks.
Yeah, well, that is actually part of warnings. So it says people have been warned not to go out at night in the local area. I believe that it's a young male elephant that had been separated from its herd and become highly aggressive. And apparently multiple tranquilization attempts reportedly failed.
So it's a drug-taking elephant.
It must be, yeah.
And it sounds like at some point someone's nicked one of his horns as well. So he's not happy. He's got it on him about humans. He's like, right, that's it. I've been separated from my family. I've only got one tusk left. I'm going to take out as many of you people as I can.
I guess so.
It looks that way.
And I mean, it seems like apparently the elephant as well was covering like 30 kilometers a day. And there's 100+ forest personnel involved in the search for it. But also, apparently, this isn't like an isolated incident. So, in the article in The Guardian, they say it's like there's a rise in human-elephant conflict due to deforestation, scarcity, and encroachment on elephant corridors. And it reports that roughly 10% of former corridor areas no longer exist, so the elephants have nowhere to go. But also, more than 2,800 deaths over the last 5 years in India from encounters with elephants.
Wow, that's crazy.
Imagine like nearly 3,000 people killed by elephants in 5 years.
That's wild, isn't it? It's a lot.
But I know it's like a problem in Africa as well. And there's certain times of year when there's a kind of fruit on the trees and it's like left there and it ferments. And so elephants and other animals will go and eat them. And so occasionally you'll get like a bull elephant that's like pissed, like literally, and it'll just sort of like charge through a village. And yeah, it's wild. It's crazy.
They definitely need to stop putting age restrictions on elephants and alcohol. I mean, that's not cool.
Yeah, this is it.
That's surely more of a priority than banning 16-year-olds from social media.
Well, maybe start with the elephants, ban it from the alcohol and ban it from social media, because we can't be certain that it hadn't been on Facebook all day, and that's where a lot of this rage has come from.
It would make total sense. Someone's rage baited him about big noses and one-tusked, and it's like, right, that's it. I've had enough.
That's it. Just started seeing red and couldn't take any more.
Yeah, crazy. Right, so that brings us to our weekly segment. It's the temporally scripted top 5. What have you got for us this week, Adam, sir?
This is just I couldn't think of anything when I thought, all right, let's do some like weird currencies from around the world in history. So it's not like, so it's not rare coins or anything. It's just really weird stuff. Okay, anyway. So the first one is from the island of Yap, which is in Micronesia. And there people use rice stones. So it started out, they would just use like little sort of round discs with a hole cut in the middle, and it would be little stones. And they'd use those as currency to buy things, to barter with people. But over time, these got bigger and bigger to a point where the largest ones are about 10 feet.
Right.
And of just like, imagine like a 10-foot stone donut, basically. And some of the weird things are it doesn't actually, ownership doesn't require possession. So I could have this stone, but it could be in your garden for like a decade or something, but it's still my stone, even though it's on your land and things like that. And yeah, and so people wouldn't necessarily move them. They just go, oh, well, you can have my rice stone that's in so-and-so's garden.
That sounds like the blockchain.
It does. Literally. An early form of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, it is really crazy. And that's just what they use for currency.
I suppose that all currency is ridiculous, really. So there's no reason for that to be any less ridiculous. I just wonder what the use would be. But then again, what's the use of paper and coins and whatever else? You know, at least you can go and sit on a stone and look at a stone and be like, hey, lads, come and have a look at my stone. Got this massive stone. I've just checked it out.
Yeah, I'll swap it for your car or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think I don't think we actually use this currency so much now, but it was just something from the past. But yeah, it's really interesting.
That's crazy. History currencies. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next one is also going back a little bit, which was during the Aztec times, and people used cacao beans because cacao was like really just desirable and useful to the Aztecs. If you imagine it's nutritious, it's tasty, you can store these beans for a long time as well. So legend has it you could have 100 beans and you could swap that for a turkey if you went to the market.
Nice. I like that. And it makes sense because it's what becomes like chocolate. So that's, yeah, the earliest sign of real money, right?
Yeah, I think, can't remember what it was called, atole or something like that. They'd make this drink with like corn flour and water, and then add some cacao and cinnamon. Probably the first hot chocolate.
Nice. Throw in some ayahuasca alongside it and you got a happy evening out.
Yeah, but you had to be a little bit careful at the marketplace though, because like say if I'm there with my cacao beans and I've gone down to the market and I want to buy some corn, and you're selling corn, and I say I'll have 2 kilos, please, and so do the trade. And when I look and go, this looks like 1.5 kilos. What I could do is I could call the sort of market cops. The market cops would come over and then they'd check it. And if you'd been selling it under, then you'd be punished, possibly by death, often by death. But the interesting thing was, if it turns out that it was 2 kilos and it was me that was wrong, then I would be punished with the punishment that you would have got, which would have been death. Quite likely.
So nobody's complaining and nobody's underselling. That's great. They should do more of that now. What happens if you want to buy cacao beans though? How do you buy
I guess you'd trade it for something else. I'm not sure how that would work. Get some feathers or...
Can I have 1 kilo of cacao? Yeah, that's 1 kilo of cacao, please. Okay, here you go. Can I have 1 kilo of... Yeah, there's an infinite void loop there.
Well, apparently people did. There's evidence of people making fake cacao beans. So maybe that's part of where it came from. I don't know.
Humans. Wonderful. What's the number 3?
Number 3 was the tea standard. So we had tea bricks, which were breakable money. And this was in China, Tibet, Mongolia, Siberia. And it was literally, as it sounds, just tea. But it was pressed into blocks and sometimes it was scored so you could easily break it off. So if you imagine like, I don't know, a brick is like a £10 note, and then you break off your individual squares to use the pound.
It's giving me flashbacks of something from my teenage years, but I can't remember exactly what. Anyway, moving on.
But there's probably a reason for that.
What's number 4?
Number 4 is in New France or Canada. And this was around 1685, and it happened a few times during the French regime. But they'd run out of paper money and coins, so they started using playing cards. And so the cards would be either cut in certain ways or just marked and stamped, and they'd use that as money. So it's like, I don't know, you could go to a store or something. It's like, oh, I'll have this bottle of whiskey, this bit of bread. So, okay, well, we've got the Queen of Hearts and the 2 diamonds. Is that all right? Yeah, nice. Okay, thanks.
What a world.
That must be how it worked.
That's a magician's like beauty. You're like, oh, I give you this one, and then it's like, wait, hold on.
Hang on, did you just switch that?
What's going on here? No, don't know what you're on about. You basically
a magician's
like some
paradise.
kind of god there. Amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back. 1685 or whatever it was. Sounds like a great place to be.
Yeah, 1685 is too plaguey, isn't it? You don't want to get all plagued up and stuff. That's not cool.
It is a little bit. Just
what we got?
Things. Didn't have any
Fine.
talc to sort of help with the plague either. It's not...
Yeah, you got these boils you can't talc up.
Can't talc up my boils. That sounds a bit funny. Right. Okay, and the final one was white gold, which is when salt was used as money. So one of the famous examples was in Ethiopia, where they'd have actual bars of salt. Because obviously the deal with salt is it's actually highly valuable, especially in the past, because you can use it to preserve. So it's like if you catch a fish, really need to eat it that day. However, you cover it in salt, you can keep it for, I don't know, weeks, even more, months. Same as how we make ham these days, especially like Serrano ham, Parma ham, things like that. And so also, so this is kind of a funny one as well. So a lot of people think that the word salary comes from salt because Roman soldiers were paid in salt.
Celery. Celery is rubbish without salt.
Celery is rubbish without salt. But yeah, apparently our word salary does come from the Latin word salarium, which is linked to salt. And saying languages like Spanish or Italian, sal is salt. And so the idea is that Roman soldiers weren't paid in salt, but they were paid a salary, which they could use to buy salt. And so it kind of links, but there's kind of another myth about them being paid in salt, and that's where salary comes from. And it's kind of true, but it's not.
That's crazy. And so you can then eat what you get paid if you wanted. You know, if you've got you're down the market and you've just got like a portion of French fries, or being stupid, French fries wouldn't have been invented back then, but chips, and you're like, oh, I've just been paid, I'm gonna crinkle a little bit of that my chips.
Yeah, kind of. But not exactly. Oh, you'd have the money to anyway. It's something along them lines. And anyway, I think that was a top 5 that was worth its salt.
Oh, that's beautiful. If that isn't worth a subscribe and a like, ladies and gentlemen, then you are on the wrong channel and you have no soul.
I concur.
Yeah, I was going to try and do salt as a play on word as soul, but it just wouldn't have been as good as your joke, so we'll leave it there.
Sad times. Okay, well.
That brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for sticking with us, for listening to our wild ramblings as we went across the news across the globe. We'll be back again next week. Don't forget to keep your eye out on Thursdays for our top 5s, and we'll see you in the next one. Adam, pleasure as always, my friend.
Indeed it is. See you next time, folks.